as I started getting closer, I noticed a lot of damage along the roadway, signs blown out, power poles toppled over. And I started calling it into our dispatch, and I noticed like one apartment complex was losing a lot of debris was flying off of it. So I started calling that in as well, and then the sky, everything around me just went gray, and I couldn't see probably 6 inches, if that, in front of my windshield. And all I could do was just try to hold my vehicle straight. My vehicle was rocking from side to side a little bit, and I was concerned that I was either gonna get overturned or have some debris either come crashing into my car through my window. Luckily, nothing hit me, and it seems like almost as soon as it started, it was over, and then it was just heavy rain. And when my first sight was the intersection of Pontchartrain and Kosmeyer, and it looked like a car bomb went off. I mean, you had windows shattered out of all the businesses, out of other cars, and it was a little overwhelming at first, but you only have a little bit of time to think. So I did what I thought best to do, and I just started with what was nearest me, and I went to a lady who was in her crashed up car in the middle of the intersection. I lifted up her side airbags because they were deployed and made sure she was all right. Then I ran to the business, the hair salon that's on the corner of Kosmeyer and Pontchartrain, and verified, made contact with the people inside, make sure they had everybody and nobody was hurt. And I ran across the street to the McDonald's where 3 cars were piled together, and one was on its side, and that had the victim inside of the vehicle. And made contact with her, verified that she was all right. It's kind of hard to hear with the rain and everything, and stayed with her until fire could get there and cut her out of her vehicle.
You were so calm as we heard you on the body camera video, reassuring that resident. I'm sure, it looked intense, but how important was it for you to stay calm and to make sure that person also stayed calm for their safety?
I think it's very important. And when somebody's in a situation like that, they need I guess that kind of calming figure, or somebody to look to that it's kind of letting them know that everything's going to be all right.
When you first got to that intersection and you saw all that destruction, what was going through your head?
It looked like a car bomb had gone off, and I mean it was overwhelming. It was a lot to take in, and it was like, where do you start?
It's been 2 days. Looking back at that body camera footage when you got to actually see it, are you still taking it all in 2 days later?
The first time I watched it, and the second time, it kind of gave me chills still. I was like, what was I doing? So, but that's what we get paid to do.
One of the comments you made in the video to I think the woman who was in her car trapped, you asked her if she was scared. She responded, you said, me too. I am scared as well. Talk to me just through your emotions and your feelings at that moment. And also, is this something that you've seen often in your career, or this is the first time that you've responded to a tornado incident as immediate as this was?
I've been through every hurricane that's come through the Slidell area for approximately the last 25 to 30 years. I even went out in the middle of Hurricane Katrina. This one was different. It was a lot of power concentrated into a much smaller area.
A little later in the video, you call your wife to make sure that she's okay. How worried were you that something had happened to her?
I was very concerned because there was no telling where that tornado. We had no idea where the tornado went after that. And I live in I've got a lot of trees around my house and everything, so I was very concerned about that. And I also had my daughter-in-law, and my son was there, and my granddaughter living with us.
And towards the end of that body cam video as well, we hear you talking to one of your colleagues, and I believe he mentioned he was on the Fremo overpass as that twister was passing over, and he almost felt like his unit was going to go over.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me. Officer Swanton. So he kind of experienced, what I experienced as well. It's the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen, and there's nowhere to go.
Again, can you clarify where the rescues happened at again?
The rescue with the lady trapped in the car was at McDonald's on Pontchartrain, at the corner of Kosmeyer and Pontchartrain.
And I really feel like your body camera video goes to show just how important it is to take these warnings seriously as well. What would your message be to the public that's watching this and watching your body camera video firsthand of being in something like this?
Don't take any of the warnings lightly. Same thing with Katrina, when you had all the governments telling you to get out and people didn't. And I was in the aftermath of that as well, and you got to heed the warnings.
I know that this had to be, like you said, you've been through hurricanes, tornado, this was something new, but going forward, I know you're gonna stay on this force and you're not gonna let something like this get you down. So, not wishing it, but are you willing to be a part of it again, even if it does happen? Just to
Absolutely.
keep your community safe.
Absolutely. I'm actually in a position where I can walk today and retire, and I still want to do the job.
If you could, in one word, describe just being in that tornado.
Scary. You know, it's the unknown. You don't know if your vehicle is going to flip, something's going to come crashing through your window. You can't see. I did everything I could just to try to maintain a straight line at a slow speed. You don't know what you're going to hit. There was debris all over the place.
Anything else? Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I'd like to just kind of give a little shout out to our dispatchers. They're kind of the unsung heroes. They're behind the scenes, and with something like this, they went from probably zero, just taking it easy, to total chaos within their office. Probably 1 million calls coming in, more than they cared to handle, and they're our lifeline when we're out there.
You said you've been getting a lot of attention for this after that body camera video was posted. How do you feel about that?
I don't know how to take it in, so it's I don't like the attention so much, so it's kind of awkward for me. I'll have to get used to it.
You deserve it.
Thank you.
I would just ask, did you learn anything? They say you learn something every time you go through an experience. Did you learn anything about yourself or about responding to an incident like this that kind of struck you?
Not really. I mean, I've been through a lot. I've been through 2 combat tours, and almost 30 years in law enforcement, and it was just a natural reaction. So there was not a lot of time to think. You just do it, and I'm still taking it in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Couldn't
Take a breather.
Holy smokes!
You did great. See,
Thank
you're
you.
scared.